Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking to the leader of a global IT services company on the decision to move to Texas. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I can't think of a hotter space right now than IT services. Everything is absolutely blowing up. If you have a son or daughter, make sure that they're not getting a graduate degree in poetry. Make sure they get into the IT world in some form or fashion. To talk about that today, Brent Kelton, he is the CEO of Ameri 100. Thank you for coming on the show.
You bet. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Well, let's talk about your space, because your company, only 8 years old, you've really become a global company, and it's happened very quickly. How did it start?
Yeah, so we started in 2013 by performing a very large transformation project for a very large global brand that was spinning off a significant portion of its business. And then we basically bought a few companies over the last few years and really focused on what we do really well and what we think is a big demand in the marketplace, and it's not being fully served by other providers.
Well, you're a humble guy, because when I asked you right before we went on camera, I said, how many employees you have? You said 400 around the globe. That's a big company. Congratulations on your success. Now, I noticed a little Texas twang because you are from Texas.
I am. I grew up just outside of Fort Worth and I've been in Texas my whole life.
Okay, let's talk about the merits of moving the whole company to Texas.
Sure. Yeah, early on our company was headquartered in Princeton, New Jersey. And then we wanted to move it somewhere more central and in a very business-friendly environment where we can hire great people, where we can expand, where there's great clients, and where we can cover kind of from the East Coast to the West Coast very easily. So Texas was a natural choice for that, especially me being a proud Texan as well.
Yeah, and I would brag to friends for decades that Texas was a business-friendly state, but I think we all really saw it in a bright light during COVID, because the states that chose to shut down, were suddenly losing employees and great families and great wealth to states like Texas and Florida that were open. This was a no-brainer for you guys, wasn't it?
It really was. It really was a no-brainer, and we were able to pass through the COVID, or the worst of COVID, without laying anybody off. We actually hired people. We started an intern program to be able to give some college students an opportunity to work and learn more about our industry. Texas has been very good to us so far, and we plan on expanding in Texas quite a bit. We have a fairly good sized office in Houston, and of course our headquarters office here in Plano, and so we will see that expand quite a bit over the next few years.
Absolutely, and I encourage my viewers to check out their website, because it's full of great information, including a blog we came across. I want you to talk about this, digitizing your supply chain in the era of uncertainty. Tell us about that blog.
Sure. This blog and other blogs that our experts will post are just meant to be very relevant to things that are going on in our space today. So obviously, in an age of uncertainty, it's about the COVID pandemic, even things like the winter storm. And so this is a chance for us to, in a very open and free way, share some of our expertise and what some of our clients are seeing and what we think other clients like them would be interested in. Our main focus is digital transformation of very specific business processes or areas where companies can greatly improve the experience they provide to their customers. And so this blog is, and other blogs that you'll see that we'll post, just help share that information in a way that can benefit people at no cost to them and get a feel for the kind of expertise that we bring in our field.
Well, one of the reasons your company has such a great reputation is because of its corporate social responsibility programs. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Sure. Again, just wanting to give back to as much as possible in the communities that we work in. So we created this program really during the early stages of the pandemic. And then it's kind of just continued from there. And so we'll do things like repurpose laptops from our consultants and give those out to graduating high school seniors that otherwise would not have a laptop for college. And then we've also done some social media drives to raise funds for charities that we feel also help children in particular. So Kids Meals Inc. is one in Houston that we have partnered with, and we're able to give a pretty decent donation to really help feed several hundred kids that would not have been able to eat during the winter storm. And that one in particular, meant so much to me that I matched the contribution that was raised by the company through our social drive.
That's really cool, and I know that the young employees, the Gen Zs, the millennials, love a company that stands for something. So that you probably really get a lot of engagement.
We really do, and part of also what we're trying to accomplish with moving our headquarters to Dallas and these programs is to really build out our culture. We really want to have a very strong company culture. We want to have a culture that's inclusive, that's work-life balanced, family-friendly, and just the kind of place that people will want to work and maybe even want their friends to work, and that will refer us. As we see the pandemic end or come toward some type of end, we're finding it harder and harder to hire the kind of people we want. So we need some of these, programs and corporate culture items to be able to really hire the kind of people that we're trying to
find.
And
you have a really cool headquarters in Plano. We're going to put up a blog post about that. How did you go about finding the space?
Yeah, great question. So we are in the SAP consulting space, and SAP's Dallas office is very close to there. So that was one draw. That area is all being developed as we speak. So it's a beautiful space. It was a brand new building. And so just to be able to get into that space and be close to where some of our employees live and close to our number one partner, SAP, was a big plus.
Absolutely. Well, Brent, we have about a minute left. What would you like to leave the audience with? Sure.
I would just say that if you're a company that is looking for digital transformation services around or is a part of the SAP platform of solutions, we really are kind of the next level down from the Deloittes and the Accentures of the world, often recommended by SAP because of how focused we are and really what a good track record we have for delivering on time and on budget and really coming alongside of our customers to partner with them to transform their business.
Outstanding. Brent, you've been a great guest. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end by putting up the website. Mary100.com is the website. Brent Kelton, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. It was a pleasure.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.